Hey everyone, it's a beautiful day here in Milford, Connecticut, and I am at the Tesla showroom. We're here to pick up a friend of mine's car, Josephine. She's ordered a Tesla. We don't actually know which model, but we do know that it's red. So I'm assuming it's just the base Model S, which is cool. Josephine is a woman after my own heart. She uses her car to carry around her dogs. She has bulldogs, which get along with my dogs, of course. So anyone that uses their car as dog transport is all right by me. So I am going to come along and maybe film a little bit of the pickup experience, ask a few annoying questions like, what grade fuel does this car take and how often do you change the oil? That type of thing that probably really annoys poor Tesla showroom people. Anyway, I'm hopeful that we'll have a bit of fun picking it up, and then later on this week I'm going to steal it off Josephine and hopefully do a review on whatever model it is. Lots of people have been asking me for a Tesla review for ages, and finally I'm going to do one. And I might even hit them up for the Model D at some stage as well. But yeah, I am a huge fan of Tesla cars, so I'm very excited about the opportunity to finally review one for you guys. Anyway, into the showroom we go. Okay, so here we are. We're going to unveil it. We're going to find out what model she's ordered. And what colour? It is red. Look. It is a 70D. Pretty cool. This is where the gas goes in. So the sales dude's just showing Josephine how to plug the car in. And so I thought I'd jump inside and have a quick first impression sitting inside the car. And you know, I'm not disappointed. Tesla just makes such a beautiful car. They're as high a standard as any other luxury car in the world. You know, the leather is just this beautiful soft touch leather that, you know, I thought the leather in the M3 is pretty much the highest standard, but this is even nicer. And of course, the overriding feature in any Tesla is always this enormous screen here, which is really cool. But yeah, we'll go over all these details when I take it for a proper review this weekend. But in the meantime, Josephine and her sales guy are going to jump in here and learn about all the features. He refuses to let me film him. He's that's not, you're not allowed to do that, etc., etc. So unfortunately we can't film the introduction that he's going to give her, but that's okay. I'll watch and I'll relay it in the review later on. Anyway, on with Josephine getting her car, and hopefully you'll see me driving it. Okay, so it's Saturday now. Josephine's had her car for a couple of days, and now I'm going to get to drive it. It's going to be a little bit of a unconventional review because it's going to be more of a dog's review. The dogs are going to come for a drive with me. So here's the car in the garage, and at the moment it's on the charger. It's on the 40 amp charger. There's something interesting that a lot of people don't realize. There's Albert in the back. Hey Albert. Is that when you install the charger in your house, it's a 40 amp 240 volts, which of course is the same as a dryer outlet. So if you're visiting somewhere where they have their laundry near or in the garage, you can actually plug your Tesla into the dryer outlet and still get that fast charge out of your car. Or if you don't want to install the Tesla fast charge plug, you can just plug it, of course, straight into a dryer outlet. Anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take it for a drive, my first drive in the Model S, and we're going to go to the nearest Supercharger station and see if we can plug it in there and see how that goes. So I'm going to collect up the dogs. Oh, this is going to get YouTube commenters going. Me putting 3 dogs in a brand new car, a brand new $80,000 car at that. Come on, Tui, in. In here, come on. Pito, Archie, come on. Are you gonna go in the front? Off you go. Right, Archie, get in the front. Tui, in you get. Come on. Up. Let's go. Good girl. Okay, we're all in. You guys all set? That's the way. Hey. Yes. It's me taking the dogs for a drive in the new Tesla Model 70D. Of course, the 70D is the base model. Well, if you can call it a base model, it's still a $70,000 car, and the D adds an extra $5,000, which is of course the four-wheel drive system, which adds an extra electric engine at the front. And in this particular car, excuse me, Angie, if we have a look at the this thingy as configured, she's also added 1500 for the red paint, the 1750 for the beautiful tan, soft tan leather that we're going to destroy with the dogs. And what else? Oh, and the Sub-Zero weather package, which adds heated seats in the back, once again for the dogs, and heated steering wheel and heated wiper where the wipers sit. So yeah, so the total price for this particular vehicle was $80,000 before any government rebates. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to take it for a quick spin, see how it goes, and I'm going to try and find us a supercharger station. We'll see how that goes. So let's get going first, and the first thing you notice is the you can't call it a gear lever because there's no gears, but the where you're driving forward and reverse is just like a Mercedes-Benz. Just like a Mercedes-Benz. So if you're a Mercedes-Benz person, this is you feel very at home. You're not helping. Okay, let's go. Let's go, kids. Woo, we're away. Holding on. Snorting, snorting. It's so quiet in here. It's so cool. So yeah, I guess that's the first thing you'd notice about driving a Tesla is that two things. Super quiet and smooth, and also when you take your foot off the accelerator, you actually get a lot more engine braking because you're getting that regeneration braking happening. And if you have a look at the dash cam that I've got here, when I take my foot off the gas, you'll see how much it's regenerating. I know a lot of electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles do that. You are terrible for doing a car review. Copito, copito. Oh, I don't need the licks. I don't need the licks. I do not need the licks. So this Model 70 is has about 230 miles of range. And has the about 315, I think, horsepower. Once you go up to the Model 80, you bump up to about 400 horsepower. And then if you go up to the P80D, the crazy one, you can get, I think, over 700, like 750 horsepower, which pushes that crazy car into the league of sub 3 seconds, 0 to 60, which I will get my hands on one of those and we'll give that a try. But for now, I'm pretty happy just driving the 70 because one thing about the 70 is because it's the Model D, it is a little more powerful than the standard 70 because it's got an engine in the front. So it can do 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds as opposed to, man, there's some strange cars on the road today. As opposed to the regular Model 70, which is about 5.5. But really it's the way that it does things. You know, because you can't hear any engine because it's all electric, it's a little disconcerting at first, but really a lot of fun. It is really super smooth. And it's got so much torque. I put my foot, sorry kids. And of course, when you're launching away, there's no noise. It's all just Batmobile. Very awesome. So what are we going to do? I am going to find, where are we on this silly map? Okay, so we're coming on to 95 here. And what I want this map to do is tell me, by hitting this button here, where my next supercharger station is. Because while the battery is fully charged, I wanted to see how that functions. And here we go onto 95, and I'm putting my foot down for maximum launch, and it is just pressing me into my seat. My God, this thing is a rocket. We are rolling. How fast are we going? Over 100 miles an hour, shit. Yeah, so I'll just pinch the screen here a bit. There's a charging station. We're looking for these red charging stations. Here's one here. So if I hit this red one and then hit navigate to, and the cool thing is it shows up, it's actually easier to look, personally I think it's easier to look on the dash here and see where you're going. It's got the 3D view here on the dash, so you can see your speed, the power you're using, how much you're consuming, and your map all in one place. So the dash is really nicely laid out. And it's going to take us about 15 minutes to get there, so we'll pause the recording for now and we'll pick it up once we get there. Okay, so we've arrived at the services. Let's see if we can find the Supercharger station. There you are over there. Ah, I can see you. Of course, a bunch of dicks are parked there. Goddamn shitty Acura in front of it. Unhelpful, asshole. We'll roll in here though. Okay, let's give the Supercharger a try. Okay, so here we are at the supercharging station, and I'm regretting not wearing my sunglasses. So it's a little cable. I thought you need an adapter, but you don't. It's the same cable that goes into the car. And so you pull it off here, and boy, this is one this is one chunky bit of electricity here. This is a really thick hose. You put it up to the little thing and you press the button and it opens up for you. How cool is that? And then you plug it in and it starts charging. The little green shows it's charging. Very cool. And then when you finish charging, you hold the button down, you wait for it to go light blue, and then you pull it out. So if we have a quick squiz up here, at the moment with the supercharger on, we're pulling a whopping 110 amps into this thing. No wonder it charges quickly. The whole point of the supercharger is you're meant to be able to get about 80% within 30 minutes. So you go for a drive, you drive for 2-3 hours, and then you find yourself a supercharger station, stop for a coffee, and you can get another 80%, which is another 2-3 hours of driving, perhaps even 4 hours if you're economical. And that's the whole point of the superchargers. They're not meant to be where you live, they're meant to be between spots that you might like to drive, and Tesla's put them all over the country, sort of between cities, so that as you're coming up for a break after you've been driving 3 hours or so, you can stop for 30 minutes, charge your car 80%, and then continue on your journey and do another 3 hours or so before you stop again, which is a great system. And of course it's free, which is the right price. You can charge your car completely for free at these supercharging stations, which is great. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a launch here, just for shits and giggles. As I said in the specs, it's meant to be 5.2, 0 to 100, but boy, it feels so much faster than that. Okay, let's punch it. Send some dogs flying. Hey, 911 Turbo S, ready to take me on? I think so. Woohoo, win a race. Yeah, wow. Did you hear the way it launched up that on-ramp? Just an incredible sound. Just so strange having so much torque on my back and just launching away like that without, any engine noise. It's so strange, but so addictive. It is really an addictive driving style. It's so cool how it delivers the power. Quietly launches yourself away. And this is only the 70. Good Lord, what must the P85D might be like? That must just be incredible, because this is incredible. This really has substantial power, and you don't know that you're doing 100 miles an hour. Down, I just pressed, and the doggies all slide backwards. I pressed into my back of the seat, and it's just that it makes no noise. It's just a little hum as it launches away at the speed of light. And of course, everything else about driving this car is sublime and gorgeous as well. The steering wheel is a lovely fat BMW type steering wheel with a soft leather on it, which I love. The gauge cluster is so easy to read and so configurable. And of course you've got the giant navigation, or whatever you want to put on here, the super duper screen, which, you know, is what everyone's going to have sooner or later. So it's such an exciting car to drive, despite the fact there's no V8 roar or anything that you'd get from a normal sports car. You know, this is a beautiful GT cruiser, basically. This is okay. So we're off the highway now, and we're just taking a quiet cruise around the waterfront here at Westport. And I wanted to stop and think a little bit about and talk a little bit about what Tesla have achieved here, which is nothing short of incredible. You know, this is really their first mass market car. Sure, they had the Roadster, but that was more of a test car, a plaything for Silicon Valley types. It was never really a mass market car. Still isn't. You know, the Model S is their first mass market car, and for their first mass market car to be so successful is incredible. You know, they're on target to sell 50,000 of these in 2015, up from 30-odd thousand in 2014. And you know, this car isn't a cheap car. You know, the base model is $70,000. Sure, you get the savings, you get rebates on top of that, and you get the savings of having an electrical vehicle, but it's still not a car for your everyday Joe. And so to launch a luxury sedan like this, that basically stands up to any other luxury sedans in this bracket, you know, this is as nice as a 5 Series or an A6 or an E-Class, and yet it's an electric vehicle. It's so cool what they've managed to do here. You know, really, really impressive that Tesla's first car out of the gate is such an enormous success, not just because it's an electric vehicle, but because it's as good as any other luxury saloon out there. It really is. So that's incredible. But you know, to me, as incredible as that is, and all the other things that Tesla have managed to achieve here, not only have they achieved this magnificent car and it's selling so well, despite the price point it's at, they've set up the Supercharger stations all over the country. They've made it easy to own these cars. But the really amazing thing, the really incredible thing, is that they've made electric cars cool. Who would have thought that electric cars would ever be anything but the dorky things we saw in the 1980s and 1990s? Okay, so I got rid of the dogs so that we can have a quick tour of the inside. The dog here remains, but the dogs are gone, so we can have some peace and quiet. I know that car cleaning fanatics around the world are crying out in horror that I had 3 dogs in a brand new car, but you know, they'll cope. So the first thing I have to say about the interior of the Tesla Model S is that when I was growing up as a nerdy kid, I used to watch Star Trek Next Generation all the time, and I couldn't wait for cars to be electric with big touch displays like they had on the Enterprise. Well, that day has finally come, because here we are with enormous touch displays. I feel like Data going So yeah, apart from the fact that this isn't a flying car, all my other dreams have come true. This is an electric car with enormous displays, and so it's pretty magic being able to drive this car and feel so space age and futuristic, which really it is. You know, this is really a leap forward, this car, in so many ways in car design. But yeah, let's have a quick look around the inside of the car. As I said, when I first sat in the car at the dealership, it's a comfortable car. The leather is beautiful. It is quite a different layout to other cars in this segment. You know, we are getting to the point where more and more cars have got a full LED display, which is a multi-function. Everything is on here. You can change anything you like, and it's completely configurable, and that's certainly true of this car. Very bright display that is easily seen in any light. So yeah, I've really enjoyed driving the car today and being able to configure this and have the navigation over here and have my different displays over here. But then of course the main the main display is this big mama over here, and this does everything, and it can be a little overwhelming to look at first, but really it's very, very easy to use. You X out of anything, the applications are all up the top here. Nav, media, calendar, you can browse the web, you can see the reverse camera, you can use the phone. and then anytime you want to go back to the main controls, you hit the controls down here, and you can change the settings and stuff here. At the moment, it's just apps that Tesla put in there. I hope one day they'll let other developers put apps in there. I won't hold my breath though, that could be dangerous. But yeah, it's one of the great things about Tesla vehicles, of course, is that they don't really have model years. It's all fairly regular releases. I don't know, a couple times a year they do a release, and extra features suddenly appear on here. Sometimes you have to pay for the features, but most of the time, the features just appear. Just like when these cars were first released, they didn't have the memory for the seats or anything like that. Now it's all part of this. You click up here, and you can click the person that's driving and immediately adjust the seats, the steering wheel, the mirrors, etc. But yeah, even as you're driving along, it's really easy to turn off and on features as you need them. Easy to use the climate control, and the navigation is fantastic. The navigation, of course, because it has the data link back through AT&T's LTE network, you're constantly getting updates, and you can press this little world button and you get the Google Maps view. You can zoom in, you can turn it around. It's really cool. It's a giant laptop in front of you while you're driving. And of course this little button here shows you the traffic information. But yeah, it's a really, really cool system, and this is the way that I think all cars will go, is that they'll just all have big screens at some point. I mean, they're getting there now, but Tesla has certainly jumped ahead and put this in straight away, and it really works very, very well. Around the rest of the car, the passenger side, there's the glove compartments, a little button here for the glove compartment. Nothing special about that. Something that a lot of people comment on or annoyed with, I think, or love, is this big space down the bottom here. Put the camera down so you can see. This space here, a lot of people comment about it like it's a problem, but no, it's great. I mean, for me, I've just stuck all my camera gear and shit down there. But if you don't like the space down there, Tesla will sell you a console, and the console slips in. I think it's about $600, and it gives you a whole lot of little cubby holes, a phone charging dock, all sorts of little accessories. So yeah, if you don't like that big space in the middle there, where you'd normally have the gear stick and other things in other cars, you buy the console, and then it looks like a regular car, and you can actually buy a console for the rear seat as well. So yeah, that's that center part. Much like other cars, there's a cup holder here. It's kind of shallow, but it works. On the steering wheel, you've got nice flat controls, and the steering wheel's a really nice layout. Around the back of the steering wheel, you've got your indicators with your wipers and your high beam. Your lights are controlled through here, just like your HVAC and all the other controls are through here. Steering wheel rake and adjustments here. Cruise control, at the moment this car doesn't have the active cruise control, but it's all wired up to have it if you want to have that turned on. And of course your driving, parking, reverse lever, just like you have in a Mercedes-Benz. So yeah, that's the front seat of the interior. Really nice place to be. Let's jump into the back and see whether I fit in the back. Okay, here in the back seat. Well, first of all, the news isn't so good in the back seat. Well, not for me at least. At 6 foot, I can't actually fit in the back seat of this car. Although I've got plenty of leg room. No problem with the leg room, and the seats are nice and comfy. It's just that my head hits the roof. So yeah, the back seat is really for all the dogs and the gorillas. Okay, taking a look around the outside of the car, I really think Tesla have done a great job with this slick looking beast. It really is a beautiful car. I've really loved the look of the Model S since they first released it. They really did a great job. And because it's got a flat underneath, it really has a very low wind drag. This car is very slippery through the air. And of course it's got lots of nice little features like the handles pop out when you come near it or touch it. This particular car's got the 19-inch wheels for the models up, or as an option on this car you can get the 21-inch wheels. But yeah, it's really a beautiful car on the outside. And if we take a moment to look in the trunk, back trunk is enormous actually. Of course you can fold the seats down as well, but yeah, there's plenty of room in here for a gorilla and a drone and some camera gear. So yeah, it's a great sized trunk. And of course, this being a Tesla and there being no engine up front, there's even a frunk like on a Porsche 911. Let's check that out. No, that's locking it. There we go. Oh, Albert, what are you doing in here, buddy? How'd you get up free it? It's a bit cramped for a little gorilla. In fact, this is a form of gorilla abuse. But as you can see, it's a decent sized little area here, enough for your shopping at least. So 2 trunks, another Tesla advantage. Okay, so a quick wrap up my thoughts on the Tesla Model S, the 70D in this case. And you know, I don't really have anything negative to say, you know, apart from my head not being able to fit in the back. You know, this car is as good as any other car in the category. You know, a large executive saloon. It's just as nice as a 5 Series or an E-Class or an A6. And you know, if I was in the market for a medium or large size sporty saloon, I'd get one of these. Really what holds me back from buying one, and I think a lot of people as well, is, you know, this is a large car. A lot of people wouldn't want a car this size, and I think that's the biggest complaint of the owner of this car, Josephine. She said to me, you know, it's going to take her a little bit of getting used to. She's coming out of a Prius, God forbid, and a Prius is a much smaller car, and a lot of us like a smaller car, and this is a large car. So, you know, when Tesla released the Model 3, probably in 2017, well, that's what they're saying, so it will probably be 2018, I think that will be an enormously successful car. If you could just bring the size of this car down a little bit, they would just sell like hotcakes, and hopefully that's going to be a cheaper model as well. They're saying that will start at $35,000. Wow. They can hardly keep up with the sales numbers on this one at $70,000 to $100,000. Imagine what a $35,000 Tesla is going to sell like. It's just going to go like crazy. So yeah, an impressive car in so many ways. I really think you know, this car is the future. Despite not having the noise of a V8 or a 6-cylinder or anything like that, it's got its own charms, and the way it drives, the way it delivers torque is truly addictive. And as I said earlier on, you know, you really feel like someone special driving this car, and a lot of people look at you and you can sort of sit on your totem pole and go, well, I've got a luxury car that is also not really harming the environment, which is pretty cool. So thanks everyone for watching my Tesla review. I will try and get my hands on the performance model as well, and we can see what crazy things those do. But for now, I'm pretty pleased that I got to drive this 70, the base model, because as I've pointed out, the 70 is pretty much all anyone ever needs. It is a very fast, very fun car. So on to my next video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye then.
Oh, sorry about that.
You've got the enormous big screen. You should have gone for the big screen. Oh, it's beeping at me. Oh, charging. Get off the road, Bambi. Come on, you funny little things. What's going on in here, kids? Boy, it smells like fart in here. One of you 3 farted? Oh, you disgusting mongrels.